children from a disadvantaged environment have fewer than half of the vocabulary words by the time they're in third grade as do the advantaged children.
They will simply fall behind their other students.
I think it's about time that we stop blaming people for our problems in education and come together and find a way to find solutions.
Illiteracy can be cured. It's something that we can fix.
The mission of the University of South Carolina is to educate the people of South Carolina. And as for the flagship university of the state, we want to help all people.
I ain't gonna paint no more.
The way that the people who are planning prisons in this country plan for the number of beds they will need, this is one of the methods they use. They check out the third grade reading scores, and they can predict very accurately how many beds will be needed in so many years for these kids.
I think we all we're aware of what our state looks like today in terms of the penal system. And you know, we incarcerate far too many people in this state when we could take those dollars and invest them in stronger opportunities that could be provided in our schools and in our communities.
The corridor of shame it's a culmination of things. And when I say that it's the education that's being neglected, it's a lot of things that are being neglected.
I was a little surprised just seeing it firsthand in schools where being able to heat the buildings is a challenge, in buildings where adequate ventilation is an issue, where furnishings are challenges.
I believe that the quality of these facilities does enhance how you feel about learning in a facility in that way. I mean, if the building is falling down around you, what's the encouragement? If you're coming from this at home, where you live in homes that are falling apart, to going to a school where it's falling apart, that desire to continue and to make it through school diminishes.
There's that saying out there that knowledge is power. And there's people out there that realize that, and they want to do everything they can to make sure that that a child in the upstate of South Carolina to a child on the coast of South Carolina have the same opportunity to learn.
We started it with the Student Government Association. Tommy Preston wanted to do something to outreach and work with literacy in the state.
I was home watching TV, and Laura Bush was giving a speech on literacy, and she talked about the importance of literacy. And then right after that, there was an episode of Oprah where she was talking about being engaged and going out and making a difference in the community. So it's all of these signs over a course of a few days, and we realized that we had a really neat opportunity with our mascot, Cocky, to really go out into the community and get students really excited about this important issue.
Early to come and visit you all and tell you how important reading is and read you some stories. And I brought some friends with me who are all students at the University of South Carolina.
I do a lot of the planning stages and the logistics of our trips, the talking with the teachers, the media specialists, the principals. So I get an inside view of what it really means to these teachers and to these principals and administrators that we're coming all the way to their community to see their kids and to bring books to their children and to bring students that are at the university, and it shows them that the university cares about them.
So we can learn. That's excellent. That's exactly why we come. We love to read and we love to learn. We want you guys to learn to love reading as much as we do and to learn with everything that you read. Now, how many of you guys know what you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I think the interesting thing is, I mean, we go into these communities and you see poverty, but to see poverty through the eyes of a child is very disturbing. And to see that that because of the situations that they deal with on a daily basis, that they might not have the same opportunities that I was afforded with is sad. The fact that 2/3 of people in prisons in South Carolina are illiterate shows that we have a problem that we need to address.
One of the biggest costs in our state is that a prisoner costs $22,000 a year to house. A productive worker puts $22,000 a year back into the economy. That common denominator is literacy, the ability to read, the ability to find the information that you need to be successful is all dependent on that early experience prior to 4th grade.
If we don't step up to the plate and start educating our children now, we're going to be in some very bad situations in the future.
If we can't have educated citizens, it's going to hurt our recruitment of industry. It's going to hurt our recruitment of professionals into our communities, doctors, lawyers. It makes a huge difference. Your education system impacts everything you do.
Most children before kindergarten are exposed to up to 2,000 hours of reading. However, there's another part of our population that before kindergarten only have reading up to about 25 hours before they hit the age of 5. This is a startling statistic in our society and shows the gap between who's getting read to and who's not.
Yeah? Okay, awesome. Do you think Poppy should help me?
Cocky's Reading Express, I think, is raising a red flag. If you go to these certain counties and these towns, you go through them, there's nothing to see. There's no job, there's no life. The schools are just a part of what's going on. The more and more you educate, the better off your state as a whole is going to be.
Our mission is to represent the entire state of South Carolina and all of its people, that we needed to make sure that we did a better job of reaching out to those communities as well.
When the kids see that these college students and this big Gamecock rooster care about them and are willing to come visit them and share stories with them and share with them what they want to be when they grow up and learn with these kids about their lives, the atmosphere just does a 180.
One of the things that you can learn in life that you will continue to use for the rest of your life. And the more you read, the more you learn.
But what we're doing is we're getting them excited that they can be whatever they want through the power of being educated. And so that's what Cocky's Reading Express does. It empowers children, even for just 30 minutes, that they can do whatever they want to do.
Now I ain't gonna paint no more. This kid has opened his lips and made his mouth small.
Hello, Poppy.
Cocky's Reading Express is a program that the University of South Carolina feels very strongly about. And it is a program that can bring positive impact not only to the children in these schools, but also to the future of children in these schools.
Of course, the students are naturally motivated by Cocky.
So I actually think that I have one of my good friends to help me finish this story. Is he here? Yeah.
They're also motivated by the fact that they are getting an opportunity to get quality literature, which becomes their own.
Enjoy Cocky today? Yeah! Well, like I told you, Cocky came all the way from Columbia with us on a bus. Our bus is right outside. And we drove down here and we came to this elementary school just to see you guys. And Cocky said, if we're going to go and see these students, we have to do something special for them. So you remember Mr. Joseph read this book to you, Itching and Twitching? You remember that book? Well, we're going to give you one of these books to take home with you. So every single one of you get one of these books to take home, okay? So you have to do this, though. Cocky had one promise. He told us on the bus. He said, the kids have to make one promise to me. And that promise is that if you're going to get one of these books, you have to promise to go home tonight and to read it to your mommies and your daddies and brothers and sisters and cats and dogs and grandmas and grandpas. Can you do that? Okay, so if you can do that, say, I promise, Cocky. Was that good enough? It wasn't good enough, Cocky? Okay, let's try it again.
You have to give them a reason to want to learn.
That's what makes Cocky's reading pledge so incredibly wonderful.
I ain't gonna paint no more. Who likes to paint?
Cocky always expects each one of these children to be reader leaders. And when one child reads to another child, that's making that child a leader. And we like to say that they gain a lot of self-esteem that way.
There's a community that starts to get built that wouldn't happen without that pledge. And these children take this seriously.
So Cocky is going to go over by the door and he's going to give everyone a high five before you go back to your classroom. He's going to give you a book. Is that good?
Evidence shows that that children learn the most in between the ages of 0 and 5. I think the state is beginning to realize that early childhood development is going to be increasingly important to helping to build a more educated society.
I got one more guess for you. It's not a dog.
Books are still the most portable, most affordable way to impart knowledge.
They take you everywhere. They do everything for you. They inspire you, they educate you, they entertain you, and what more can you ask?
And that's one of the great aspects of Cocky's Reading Express is that we're getting to those children and getting them excited about learning and excited about reading at such an early age.
Reading infiltrates every area of our lives, and it is so important that parents realize the necessity of reading in their child's life, because if that child can't read, they can't keep up with peers in school, they can't keep up with what's going on around them.
I think the biggest solution here is actually teaching them that they can be bigger and better. They can actually go off and be doctors and lawyers and actually come back and help their area where they grew up in. So I think the biggest thing is just letting them know that we actually do care and just giving them some inspiration. That's about it.
How does a dinosaur go to school? Does he walk? Does he ride in a busy carpool? Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Look at him.
Once there were 4 friends, a pig, a duck, a cat, and a little red hen. And the little red hen had 3 baby chickens.
The principal at one of the schools we went to recently has told us about the impact that Cocky's Reading Express had on the children of her school.
So much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This wonderful effort that you have started, you really don't know. I was sharing and I was saying, as soon as people really hear about what you're doing, you'll have people calling you, asking you, are you coming to us this year? Can we depend on you to come this year? Will you share the books with us this year? It is wonderful. Reading is everything. If you can't read, you really don't have a future. And we try to instill that. I give my children books for virtually everything. As reward, we give books. So you don't know how much this means to me. It's a passion of mine. So thank you so much. You all keep doing what you do. I promise you, when you get to be older, you will look back and you will say to yourself, you know, I touched a child's life. I touched a child's life because I gave them a book. And some of those children will keep that book for life. For life, they will have it. They'll say, you know, Cocky gave me this book. So thank you. Thank you so much.
And for us to be able to empathize with them and to be able to come into their schools and show them what they could have, and to be that source of motivation for them was so important to that community. And it's those stories from the people that we come in contact with that you leave those places realizing that this program is working.
I think it was great. I think it's really great that a college is taking on an initiative to come back and interact with younger children and embrace reading, because reading is so important. It's important for them to see young people read because that's who they idolize. You know, we try our best to do things for them, but they look up to the young people. So when they see the young people reading and talking about how good reading is, I think it makes them want to read. I'm glad they see the Gamecock reads, because a lot of our Gamecock fans here and even our other fans will read more. So we're so excited, and we're so excited about the books that were provided also. So it's a good day.
You never know which student you'll impact. I mean, you know, how many you'll impact or which one. I mean, it may just be one, but what that student could potentially do with its life.
Anytime you can bring someone in, especially someone as well known as Cocky, who supports reading for children, it just broadens their horizons, and it also increases their willingness and their want to learn and to read. Sharing books with them, that's so important because so many of our children don't have books in their homes. So this is really a lot more special than you'll ever know.
The thousands of kids that I've been able to make smile and laugh, it's just a really great opportunity for me to visit these children, to see them, to give them a gift of a book, and to educate my fellow students that go on with me these trips, and to say, hey, look, this is what you can do, this is the difference that you can make every time that you read to a kid.
I really come to comprehend what the whole Cocky Reading Express is all about. You know, it is a bunch of older kids going to read to younger kids, but it's about showing kids that people out there really care. That's what I always love to do, is make a difference in people's lives. And anytime when I actually see it come true, it just totally, it doesn't break my heart, it's tears of joy. And it was just so warm, you know, heartfelt. It was just so amazing, so amazing.
It was awesome what we did. I think it was a really awesome experience, and I'm glad that we got to do it. And I hope that we changed some kids' attitudes about stuff, but when you really think about it, I guess there's a lot more that has to be done, I guess.
This development of an economy that relies on a literate workforce is South Carolina's future. And without it, I see little hope that this state will join the new globalization, the new generation of states.
We have to become a better state. We have to make education number one here.
Reading is important, and it is the gatekeeper for our students improving academically as well as just overall as citizens.
Cocky's Reading Express, I have to say, has been probably the most rewarding thing that I've done at USC. I think it encourages and lights a fire to everyone to say, wake up, you know, if they're doing this, we can be doing something too. And I just hope it keeps going. I hope it gets bigger, and I hope that we continue to wake up people around the state.
So without any pay at 11 o'clock, and that'll be
And a blue-feathered bird.
Students are out there really transforming our state's education system. One child at a time, we're representing a whole cross-section of the entire state of South Carolina. That's what's so key to this program. One of our students at Carolina was sitting reading a book, and one of the kids, this was an area in the corridor of shame, the kid put his hand on the college student's face and said, "Are you real?" And that's one of those moments that will live with me for the rest of my life. The fact that this child, whatever was going on in his life, could not believe that someone outside of his community cared that much about him and wanted to be with him and to read to him. And I think that it's those stories like that and stories that are similar to that that gives us reason to continue to fight. And people often ask me, well, how long will Cocky's Reading Express continue? And I say until every child in South Carolina is able to read, we're going to keep rolling on.
Touching 1,000 lives one book at a time.